Hey there, welcome back to gggaming. So we got a fun one here. We have a brand new 7-star Tera Raid boss in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It is, of course, Torterra, and he's actually fairly hard. So we're going to go through all the details like always, so stick around. Let's get to it. Alrighty, let's not waste any time. As always, let's get to the summary for Torterra and just go through the basics of what you are dealing with this raid boss. It's going to have a ground Terra, which means he has 3 weaknesses. Those are water, grass, and ice. We'll pretty much just be focused on the grass though, because both the water and the ice, he has got moves that are super effective against. So really does hurt. So again, we'll pretty much just focus on grass builds for this. Get over and take a look at his moves. He's got Earthquake, Wood Hammer, Smackdown, and then Earth Power. So 2 ground type moves here, along with that grass and that Smackdown, which are there, of course, to counter your water and your ice typing. Right? Yeah. Water and ice typing, but the ground itself is strong on its own. Earthquake and Earth Power, both 2 of the best moves in the game. Of course, one of those is physical and one of those is special, so you do have to keep an eye on that because that Earth Power is special and has that nasty added effect right there of special defensive down. Got to be even more careful on what we're doing. So we'll cover those in our builds and exactly how to counter those, but overall, he's strong. He's strong because of these moves. Especially that Wood Hammer. That Wood Hammer hits incredibly hard at 120 damage and 100% accuracy. He can and will one-shot your Pokemon if we don't properly set up for this thing. When it comes to his EVs and his stats, he's pretty well-rounded. He doesn't have a whole lot in speed, but he does boost his speed stat twice because he also uses the coded move Shell Smash, which we'll talk about here in a second, which really makes him that much stronger. But overall, you can use either special defense or physical attackers against this guy, and you're going to be just fine. No big deal. He is going to hit majority on the full attack side, but that Earth Power is still really nasty. Shell Armor, of course, one of the best abilities in the game, prevents him being critical hit. It means no critical hits on this guy whatsoever, unless you, of course, use something that gets rid of that. We're not going to use any builds like that, so we'll deal with the no critical hit and move on through it. But that's that. Of course, the most important thing is right there, the Mightiest Mark, which marks that special edition 7-star Tera raid boss that we are after. So let's get over and actually talk about the raid flow, and then we'll talk about the best counters before we get into what the showcases will actually be. All right, so we'll use our Cerebi side by side like we always do. We already talked about his primary moves, which were Earthquake, Wood Hammer, Smackdown, and Earth Power. Of course, he has the additional move, one that he is not in his normal move pool that he uses at specific intervals, which is Shell Smash. All right, and Shell Smash, absolutely amazing move. Basically drops his attack, or it drops his defense as a special defense of 1 stat point and boosts his attack, his special attack, and his speed all 2 points. So basically losing 2 stat items and then gaining 6 on other ones. It's an absolutely crazy move. We'll deal with it, but it really does get out of hand if you don't deal with it, and that may be why you're struggling against this guy. He uses Shell Smash at, of course, 99%, so turn 0, he is going to use Shell Smash and get that boost. He'll use it again at about 70% time. And when we get into the actual raids and we show you these showcases, we're going to show you how to counter these and the best setup for success on this guy. All right, so stick around and make sure you check those out. But otherwise, the Shell Smash, he's going to reset his stats at 98% time. Immediately after using that Shell Smash, he drops his defensive stats, and then he immediately erases his stats and gets the full +6 without any detrimental effects from the Shell Smash. It's a pretty dirty skill set that they've given him here and kind of what he does. And then the big one, he resets your stats at 80%, so fairly 80% time. This is all pretty much all time based for this guy, if you notice. Outside of that one Earthquake there at the end, he's going to reset your stuff at 80, and then he resets his stuff at 70. So we won't be doing a ton of debuffing of him until after that 70% marker, and we won't buff our own Pokemon until after the 80% marker. So fairly close there. Not a lot of time to work with in between the two, but it will make a lot more sense when we actually get to the showcases. The only other big one to point out is that Earthquake that he uses at 35% HP. Okay, so you're going to get twice, at minimum twice. I say minimum because if it's below 50%, he can double attack. He may hit you 3 times right there, which can be a little bit dicey. But that is that. Let's get over and talk about the best builds, best parties, and kind of how to set up for this thing. Okay, so we're here in our YouTube box as always. We are going to do showcases for both Leafeon as well as Electros. Both really, really good, super strong against this guy, and do not have too much of an issue soloing him if you do the raid right. So make sure you check out one or both of those showcases to see exactly how it's done. Otherwise, another really, really cool idea is Malamar. I played around with this one with the Grass Tera, with that Topsy-Turvy and the, of course, Contrary skill swap. Makes him basically useless. I mean, in terms of Torterra, he can't do anything. He's extremely weak. So support builds, go with that Malamar because you were going to make that Torterra extremely weak and it won't be able to hurt online parties whatsoever. We may or may not do a showcase online. We usually don't do those, but there is a support build if you need one to help knock this guy down and make him just an absolute joke. The problem is with Malamar, he just can't do enough damage. Even with the Grass Tera and the Tera Blast, can't do it before you run out of time. He just does not do enough damage on his own to be able to get this guy down. But let me know. Let me know if you have any other ideas with that one on how to get that across the finish line. Have not been able to do so. So when it comes to winning, okay, NPCs are going to be an insane amount of help in this fight. And in not just one, but almost all of them, because of the different variations of what he has in his move pool. Your healers, of course, Gardevoir and Arboliva, whatever it is. I almost think Arboliva is the better of the two if you can get it in your party, because it puts grassy terrain down. Grassy terrain, of course, boosts the power of grass type moves. Both of our builds are going to be based on grass. I do not have Arboliva locked in my party. We actually have Gardevoir instead, because it just gave up resetting the game trying to get it. Just is not worth it. Gardevoir still works very well. I just don't get the extra boost. So if you can get it, definitely take advantage of Arboliva. Bella Bolt, also good in this fight because of the Earth Power. The Earth Power is a special move from this Torterra. Bella Bolt uses Light Screen and cuts that damage in half. And then, of course, you got your MVPs right here, which are Arcanine, Tauros, and then Staraptor, all extraordinarily valuable. In fact, you almost are required to have at least one of them in your party. We do have an Arcanine because they have the ability Intimidate. Intimidate drops the attack stat, making this Torterra's 3 primary attack dealing moves, which are Earthquake, Woodhammer, and Smackdown, all fairly manageable. Without it, without an Intimidate NPC, he can one-shot you, can and will one-shot you on turn 1 with that double attack boost. So you really, really do need at least one of these to make this fight that much easier, and it'll make much more sense when you actually see the showcases. So without further ado, hopefully this was helpful. Drop a like, let me know what you think, let me know how you're doing on this guy, and go check out these showcases that we're going to film right now.